Hello and welcome back to Actors Turned Directors on eliciting the best performance from an actor, Jodie Foster interview part 4. I did these interviews with 10 A-list directors who started out as actors for my book, Actors Turned Directors, as to educate myself on eliciting the best performance from an actor, something I was very insecure about. And thanks to help from Tom Carroll of the Directors Guild magazine, I was allowed to interview 10 of these magnificent masters, actors who became directors. And as a result, when my film was done, the LA Times compared my work with John Cassavetes, and Box Office Magazine described me as an actor's director. I hope that the wisdom that Jody and the others share with you today and the next parts of the interviews will be of value to you. And if so, please like, share, and subscribe. To get back to where we left off, Jody, how involved are you in the look of your films? Jody, I think my films will always be real. I'm not interested in flashy, over the top visual choices. I'm not very operatic in that way. That's not what moves me when I go to movies. But chances are that every movie I make will have the tone that's appropriate to it, and the style that's appropriate to it, and probably the visuals that are appropriate to it, because obviously there's some continuum there in the voice. Question. You had a very clouded look in holidays. Jody, yes. Holidays were all about chaos, about certain people moving in and certain people moving out, about people changing directions, and about the strange rhythm that people get in groups. Question. So you make statements in the way your films look? Jody, yes, absolutely, as it relates obviously to the story and characters. I think that every department gives you a different piece of language, the language of sound, music, visual design, lighting, as well as the language of acting, which is so probably the most crucial thing in filmmaking. And all of those have to be working in unison. In every film, there will always be a particular look or style. Question. Can you tell me more about your creative directorial thought and technical preparation process? Do you go through the whole script with your key department heads? Jody, I have one of those computer memo lists that goes through every single scene for every single department and is distributed to every department head so that every department has a log of everything that has been discussed about why we are doing and what we are doing. A lot of people probably find that very unspontaneous. It's not like anything is etched in stone, but it gives everyone on the production staff an anchor, a sense of organization, so that when surprises do come up, we're prepared to deal with them. I go through the entire script, scene by scene, and write these incredible long memos to myself about the full vision of the film, and each department gets one. I'm really meticulous about this. It's about more than production logistics, it's about communication. It makes everyone part of the big picture so that they all understand the choices that I'm making in terms of composition, lighting, staging, even music. Each department will have a step by step idea of where the characters start, where the character's point of view is, how that point of view evolves, and what the conclusion is. These are part of the choices that you make as a director. And composition, lighting, and staging grow out of your overall vision for the film, both what you see and the subtext. So when a prop person asks, what kind of drinking glass should I get? Should I get the one with Miss Piggy on it? Should I get another kind? He or she has been let in on the bigger picture of the film, which helps him or her make a choice in a way that is artistic and realistic in relation to who the character is, what that character is feeling, and what the scene expresses. Question. So, for example, what was that wide shot of Tate and his mom on his birthday? Something that you specifically pre planned and told the director of photography to do? We knew the movie really well, my director of photography and we talked about doing that scene with close ups. But when we got on the set, we looked at each other and the DP said, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And I said, "Yeah, it looks like it's one shot," which conveyed the sadness better than anything else. Being prepared and really knowing what you want gives you the opportunity to be flexible and open to those magic moments that come up on the set. So that's the way we shot it. We then got a call from the studio the next day, and they said, "Wait a minute, where is the coverage? Why didn't you get a close up of that?" They just didn't get it. Jodie, you must have a great deal of knowledge about lenses and what they can accomplish emotionally. Response. Not as much as I need to know. I don't pretend to be a good technician with that instrument as the DP, but I have been an actor for many, many years and have been watching movies for many years, so I pretty much know what I need to know. Question. Do you tell the DP how to light the actors, or do you just describe the mood you wish to evoke and trust the technicians to accomplish what you want? Obviously, I never tell the DP how to do his or her job, and certainly not regarding lighting. But we do discuss the kind of richness I'm looking for. Should it be warmer or cooler? And we talk about the actors' faces. I think she looks better like this, or if we moved in tighter on her, we'd know the experience was important to her. You know, things like that. It all depends on what I'm trying to achieve. Sometimes may want to be more distant and create a sense of loneliness. For example, in Tate, Fred remains alone in the schoolyard. The birthday invitation he just handed out scattered in the wind all around him. So we shot that wide and from a high angle to convey his sense of isolation. Something in Tate that stood out in my mind was Dee Dee's 4th of July telephone call, which was very visceral. Was it scripted that way, or was this something that you decided to create? Jodie, it was scripted that way. It was all about subtext, which I love more than anything else. I would say that one of the reasons actors are so well equipped to move into the directing seat is that they are the only people on a movie who understand why a scene works emotionally. So instead of perhaps focusing on a flashier crane shot or a bigger stunt, they work from an inner level because if you have performances that move you, so what if the film was shot in grainy 16 millimeter? In Home for the Holidays, I said to Lajos Koltai, the DP, I don't like the ending of the film. I feel like it's cheating. It's not right. I really just want something that's more inclusive, more about Americans in some way that unites all the ideas. Have you ever seen a whole movie and cried about the lives of people you don't even know? You don't know why you cried. You just know there is some loss somewhere. You think about moments that nobody ever got on film, moments that aren't documented, moments in your life when you were most vulnerable, moments that other people will never understand. And the weird thing about home movies is that they're so real. Everybody's looking at the camera, but they're also so raw. Lajos had done some documentaries back in Hungary, and he said, "Oh, yeah, we'll get out the 16 millimeter Arriflex." And we started building the sequence of moments that shaped and defined each character's life, moments that no one else will ever understand. We had no script. I was pretty sure about what I wanted, but I acted like I wasn't. We didn't tell the actors what they were going to be doing. We just kind of threw them out there. Here we were with this little area Lajos was operating with a reduced crew. And in some ways, it was more fun than any of the stuff we had done on the film itself. And emotionally, it worked just beautifully. Question. You mentioned that you love working with the subtext. How important is it? For example, when you're working with child actors, how do you get them to achieve that level of excellent performance? Jodie, any language is good language. Anything that gets through. Sometimes with young actors under 6 year old, you just say, hey, do it like this. And they do it. Well, question. Well, and with a veteran like Charles Durning, Jodie, Charles is always so right on that sometimes it will be just one word. Bring it down or bring it inside and don't let me see much on the outside. Because he's so intelligent and can be so articulate and witty, I wanted his character to be somebody who didn't know how to talk. And every time he tried to talk, he stumbles and says the wrong thing. So I had to keep making him less articulate, keep making his choices less conscious to himself. His challenge was to be a little less intelligent than he really is in life. Anne Bancroft is somebody who is meticulously planned. Every fork, every knife, every tablecloth, every line of diction, everything. So I would just play with her when she'd ask me a question about where was the fork going to be, for example. Even if I knew the answer, I'd say, oh, I really don't know, just to make her nervous, shake her up a little bit. What sort of character development direction did you give Holly Hunter in Holidays? Jodie, her character was the most difficult character in the movie because she reacts. She's a character who's gone through an identity crisis. And boy, it's real hard to play that without being a whiny victim. I think Holly did it brilliantly. I think you get a really good sense of Claudia, yet she is somebody who changes with every person she meets. Her tone changes every time somebody new comes into the room. She speaks their language. This brings us to the end of the Jodie Foster interview part 4. I look forward to reconnecting with you on the Jodie Foster interview part 5. If you find this content valuable, whether you're an actor or director, filmmaker, professional or aspiring or student or whatever, or anybody else in general, if you find it valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. That would help me tremendously. And I want to thank you for that in advance and look forward to reconnecting on the Jodie Foster interview 5, part 5, that is. Thank you.